Okay, so we found our way over to the John Deere stand, which is a very impressive exhibit, hosted by Ripon Farm Services, one of Britain's most well-respected John Deere dealers. Now, we're very, very privileged at the moment because the man standing next to me is Mr. Jeff Brown, MBE, who is the founder of Ripon Farm Services, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about what it's like being in the John Deere business, the tractors you remember, and how it was when you founded the company all those years ago.
Yes, well, it all started in 1982, October 82, when the Appleyard Group, which were a motor group,
Yes.
decided to get out of agriculture.
Right.
So we took over the Ripon premises, and it all started from then. Before that, Appleyards were actually John Deere from 1966.
Okay.
But there weren't many tractors in those days, no John Deeres. A lot of people had never heard of them.
No.
1966 was the imported one from Mannheim in Germany. It was a Lance tractor that was badged as John Deere.
Right.
And it wasn't a right good start really, because it wasn't a particularly good, it wasn't like the proper John Deere ones, it was just badged more or less from Lance.
Right. So,
But at the same time, they brought in the 4240 from America, and that was a real tractor. There was no other ones like it. It had features that no other tractor of any make had.
that was a tractor that blew everybody away.
Yeah.
6-cylinder, 90 horsepower, thereabouts.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Were they, and obviously we know about them now, were they a good selling tractor, or were they just for the big arrow boys? Because I mean, there would have been a lot of implements.
No, there was no implements, that's right. Most people hadn't got implements for them anyway. And in the day, there were between £2,000 and £3,000, and that was unbelievable for a tractor price. So we sold very few. We probably, I don't know, sold maybe 3 or 4 a year of them.
So coming on from there then, what would you say was the first mass-selling John Deere tractor? Because we sort of know a little bit about the 20 series and the 30 series and the introduction of the Soundguard body, which was another expensive tractor comparatively.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
What would you have said? Would you say when would you go, well, this is a tractor that's selling a lot of numbers? When did you start moving volume? What model was that really opened the door?
The 20 series. That was the 1020
Yeah.
at 47 horsepower, the 1120, which came a couple of years later.
Right.
And then we had the 2020, and from the beginning of that era, and then we had the 2120 again that came out a bit later.
Right.
And they were proper John Deere ones, and they went very well. It was still hard work in the day trying to sell them.
Well, because you got really strong competition. You were dealing with Ford, Massey Ferguson, International Harvester. I mean,
nobody.
Brown.
That's right. Nobody had heard of them. A lot of people have never heard of them.
We're jumping from the 20 series. You know, you've had to put safety cabs. That was another thing, wasn't it?
In 76, yeah.
And then we came to the Q cabs, which John Deere was a little bit ahead of the game, I believe, weren't they? Was it the 2130?
OPU, Operators Protector Unit. Yeah.
Now, how did that? Because I remember writing a little bit about this several years ago. How did, as a dealer, how was that received? Because obviously it made the tractors more expensive. So, I mean, how was it received?
I think people would still buy them in most cases rather than the Duncan cab, which was a very basic one. Mm-hmm. So I think that's they were built in Scotland by Alexander Duncan.
Yeah.
But they weren't a patch on the OPU cab.
No, that was a Danish Secura cab, was it?
Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah.
Secura,
yeah. From there, we come to the 40 series and the Soundguard, which of course the Soundguard body came out on the big American 30s, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Soundguard 2, which is essentially the same cab but modified. When the Soundguard came out, because you'd gone from the OPE with 2 doors and a conventional style, and this one you got a round cab with a single door, which was expensive cab to build. A lot of engineers didn't particularly like them. How did the public receive these in compared to? Was it people went, oh my God, I've got to have one of those, or would the people just rather have the old OPU cab?
No, they would definitely like these better. They were quite a lot quieter than what the OPU one was.
Well, like I said, I can remember driving. It's the first time I've just been blown away. I mean, how everything was laid out. It was a revolution, really. I mean, it was astonishing.
Yeah. We probably lost out in a few cases where the competition said, well, you can only get in at one side, and that's not very good. But people soon decided that it was still all right.
What was the best selling one of these? Because I know that the 6-cylinder variants, the 3050, 3350, were very popular where I was. I come from Bruce Hopkins country. That was our thing. What was a big tractor for you in terms of the 40s and 50 series? Which was a better selling tractor?
I would have said the 30 and 350.
Really? So like this one here, these were the big sellers, the ones that people really raved about.
Yeah.
So Soundguard, we've gone on to that. Did you sell many of the big American 30 and 40 series?
Not really. No.
Too much
if
money.
we did 10 a year, maybe one a month, probably, or maybe even less than that then.
So they're moving into the double O's and the 10s, so that the modular tractor design there, were they well received, or did people kind of prefer these still? I mean, you know, from a dealer perspective, was that an easier tractor to sell? Did it offer more, like the 6810 compared to a 3650, for example?
No, I think they sold very well as well. They were okay. Look, I would think because we've got some smaller farmers, then there'll be more of the 50 series sold than what there were of those.
Right. Moving on a little bit, I know we're sort of, it's a bit of a whistle-stop tour today. I mean, we live in a very, very different world today, isn't it? In terms of volume and tractors. I mean, looking at what's here today, looking at these marvellous displays and everything that's here, where are we going with tractors in the future? Where do you think? I mean, what's happening there? I mean, alternative fuels. I mean, John Deere's already got different things out. Where do you see it
they don't
going?
seem to be. They're not taking up as you'd expect them to be. I don't think.
No.
People still like diesel.
Yeah, and they're going to keep liking diesel
for
a while.
Yeah, they are.
Now, what about, obviously we've seen tremendous price hikes in recent years, which is, you know, unfortunately the way the world's going. Is that affecting, you know, tractor sales overall?
It is. Very much so, yes, it is. Yeah.
Is it, so are you finding people are sticking to the old stuff and rebuilding it? Is that more what's going on, or?
I wouldn't know about rebuilding it, but they'll keep, if they were going to change every 2 or 3 years, it's probably 4 and 5 now.
Right.
So and of course the gap is even bigger, so it's not easy.
No, it's not easy. So of all of these tractors as we're walking around here, and for all of your experience and everything that you've done, the contribution you've made to agriculture, which is your favourite John Deere tractor? Which one would you say? That's the one, that was always
over
my
the
favourite.
years.
Over the years, your best tractor for you?
2850, I would think.
Really? Why?
Because compared to what was on the market at the time, it was just so different with the SG2 cab on.
Yeah, and a little pocket rocket as well.
Yeah, there were.
Powerful little tractor, well built, but absolutely fine.
Which I'm supposed the same as the 3050 and 3650, but there were more in this area of the 28s. Right, 26s and 28s, yeah.
Now down here, I noticed we've got a couple of like 7.810s and 7.710s, which have enjoyed a almost cult following these days.
Oh yes, yeah. They make tremendous races now, don't they?
Oh my God, more than they did when they were new. I have to say, I still drive a 7.810. It's not involved, and I still drive a 7.810.
They were so ahead of the time. So ahead of the time, weren't they?
Yeah, they were fantastic things. Yeah, we've got an old TLS one, and I still use it for drilling and all sorts.
Yeah.
Brilliant tractors. We featured it on LandPowerTV before, actually. But yes, great tractors, a cult following. I remember talking to somebody at John Deere, said when they at the end of their production, they couldn't give them away.
Which ones?
The 7.810s, 7.710s. Said that they couldn't give them away when the 20s came out. In terms of leaps in technology, a little bit of a thing, we've gone from this, we went to the 20 series, we went to the 30 series. Arguably what has been I hate to say troublesome, but what's been the biggest setback for Deere over the years with their tractors? Which tractors would you say, from a dealer perspective, probably gave you more challenges? Which ones would you say they were?
Most of them are very reliable. There's obviously a lot more technical items on the new ones now. And so there's more to go wrong with your AdBlue and everything that goes with it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much between them, but
it's you know, as I've talked to people before about this, one of the biggest challenges was people said with the 30 series, the 6.8, 6.9, 30, stuff like that. They presented a lot of challenges, which of course they did for John Deere because they were introducing new technologies and emissions and everything else. That's why I asked.
That was the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Emissions and
And it's just been an absolute. It's been a challenge for everybody, not just John Deere. Everything else. Well, I have to say, sir, thank you very, very, very much for having a little walk with us, just giving a tiny little insight into your career and everything. And I want to thank you for everything you've done for everybody. I'm sure, you know, anybody watching this will agree with me. It's a spectacular event here, and it's really been a great wander round.
Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Sir.